Shai Ben Ari has a closer look at John Kerry's efforts today and what he's up against.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry was scheduled to meet with members of the U.S. House of Representatives Monday as the Obama administration continues its attempts to remove any political obstacles in the way of a final nuclear deal with Iran. In an interview to NBC's Meet the Press Sunday, Kerry warned Congress not to interfere in international diplomacy.
What we have done shuts off the four principal pathways to a bomb for Iran in the Natanz facility, in the Iraq plutonium facility, in the Fordow underground facility, and also the covert program. We think that, we don't think, the science tells us that we have an ability to know what Iran is doing and to be able to shut off those pathways to a bomb.
But it is clear there are still differences between the parties on a number of issues, perhaps the most critical, the pace of sanctions relief, which the U.S. has stressed will be phased and conditional. The Iranians see it differently.
We will not sign any deal unless all economic sanctions are lifted on the same day of the signing of that deal.
Kerry has attempted to explain these differences in understanding.
They're going to say the things that they feel they need to say with respect to their deal at home. And all I can tell you is this. When we did the interim agreement, there were these same kinds of discrepancies, or spin, if you want to call it that, with respect to what the deal was or wasn't. But in the end, the deal was signed, and the deal has been agreed to and lived up to. No one contests that Iran has lived up to every component of that agreement, and the deal is what we said it was.
On Tuesday, Kerry will also meet with members of the U.S. Senate, whose Foreign Relations Committee is expected to draft legislation tying the lifting of sanctions to congressional approval. The legislation is still under discussion, but is expected to give Congress 60 days to review any deal, after which the waiving of sanctions would need to be approved by a vote. Supporters of the legislation are currently near the 67-senator majority needed to override a veto. Among these are Democrats who are pushing for more lenient oversight, but the White House itself could be hoping the extremists in the Republican camp win out, meaning the magic 67 total would remain unattainable. Around 50 amendments to the legislation will be under review. One of these is expected to be submitted by Marco Rubio, who announced his candidacy for the presidency Monday. Rubio will call for any deal to be subject to Iranian recognition of Israel's right to exist, echoing the sentiments of none other than Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Whether such an amendment would actually help the legislation's chances of passing is doubtful. The White House, in any case, is looking to delay any legislative action until the end of June, the target date for the final Iran agreement.